If you feel like you lost yourself while being a mom, it may not look dramatic from the outside. Your life may actually look very normal. And that's exactly the problem. You may have a job, a family, a beautiful home, a calendar that's full, and people who need you, and things that get done because you do them. And yeah, from the outside, someone might say, well, that's just life. But inside, something feels off. Not broken, not completely miserable, maybe just not fully yours. And in this video, I want to walk you through 5 signs that being a mom made you forget who you really are. Not because being a mom is the problem, but because so many women are taught to build a life where everyone else is included except themselves. And slowly, quietly, without a big dramatic moment, they disappeared from the center of their own life. So let's talk about the first sign. Sign number 1, you only see your schedule, not your life. This is one of the biggest signs that you lost yourself in being or while being a mom. Your day is full, I'm sure. Maybe too full. You know what time school starts, you know who needs to be picked up when, you know what needs to be bought, you know what emails needed to be answered, or you know what dinner might work for everyone, especially if everyone is tired and nobody wants vegetables. You know the logistics, but you don't really know where you are inside all of it. You are living from appointment to appointment, task to task, need to need. And at some point, your life starts to feel like a system you have to keep running, not something you are actually creating or living. And that is a very, I would say, quiet kind of loss, because nothing looks wrong. You are functioning, you are showing up, you are doing what needs to be done. But when you only see your schedule, you stop seeing possibilities. You stop asking, could this work different? Could I want more? Could I build this in a way that includes me too? And that brings me to sign number 2. Your dreams became practical. And this is subtle, because when you ask many moms what they want, they don't say wild, alive, deeply personal things anymore. They say things like, I just want the week to be less stressful, or I want the house to stay organized, or I want a job that fits the school schedule, or I want everyone to be okay. And of course, those things matter. Practical dreams and goals are not wrong. But if every dream you have is about making life more manageable or more convenient, you may have stopped dreaming from your actual soul. You are not asking, what would light me up? Or what kind of woman do I want to become? What do I want to create? Or what kind of life would make me proud to be living in it? You are asking, what will make this easier to survive? And that is a very different question. A woman can become incredibly good at managing a life she no longer feels alive inside of. And this is where so many moms get stuck. They are not let's say, ungrateful. They are not weak. They are simply dreaming inside the limits they have accepted. And that leads to sign number 3. You stopped questioning the cage because it looks normal. This one makes me really sad, because so many women are living inside a structure that does not really fit them anymore. A job, a family house, groceries, laundry, calendar, and repeat. And because so many other women are doing the same thing, it starts to feel normal. So they stop questioning it. They don't ask, is this the life I actually want? They ask, how do I get through this week? They don't ask, what do I need to be happy? Maybe they ask, what does everyone needs from me today? They don't ask, what else can be possible? They ask, what has to get done? I'm not saying everyone should burn down their life and move to Bali. Although, let's be honest, some days the fantasy does knock politely on the door. Hey Bali, I'm coming. But I'm saying this, just because a life looks normal does not mean it's right for you. And just because everyone else seems to be doing it does not mean your soul has to quietly suffocate in it. And being a mom can make it even harder, because when you have kids, your choices affect other people, of course. So you become responsible, careful, practical. You think about stability, of course. You think about money, school, routines, and all that matters. I'm a mom too. But if you never question the structure of your life, you may end up calling it a cage with the name responsibility. And that is where women start losing themselves. Not because they don't love their families, but because they stop believing that their own happiness belongs in the conversation and in the life of the whole family. And sign number 4, you don't ask what you want anymore. I'm sure you have desires, but wanting something would maybe complicate things. And wanting something might mean a conversation, a change, a decision, a boundary, a risk, or a shift in the family system. So instead of asking what you want, you stay busy. Busy is very convenient when you don't want to hear yourself. There's always something to do. And there's always someone who needs something. And there's always a reason why now is not the time. And after a while, you stop hearing your own inner voice. Not because it disappeared, but because you learned that nobody was asking, not yourself. This is why one of the most powerful questions for mom is not, how can I be more productive? It is, what do I actually want? I know that question can feel almost rude. Like, who has a time for that? Who has space for wanting? Who gets to ask that? But this is exactly why it matters, because if you never ask what you want, your life will be built around what is convenient for everyone else. And sign number 5, you treat joy like a luxury you have to justify. This shows up in tiny ways. You only get your hair done when it's absolutely necessary. Or you buy clothes only when you really need them. You don't spend money on something just because it would make you feel beautiful. Or you don't book the massage and you don't take the afternoon for yourself. You don't buy the thing that has no practical purpose except joy. You tell yourself it's not necessary, and maybe it isn't. But that's not the point. The point is that so many moms only allow themselves what is useful, what is practical, reasonable, easy to explain. But joy is not always useful. Beauty is not always practical. Pleasure is not always reasonable. And still, it matters because you are not a machine. You are not just a function in the family system. You are a woman, a person, a living being. And when you only allow yourself what is necessary, your life becomes smaller and smaller. You start to forget what you like, what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel feminine, creative, powerful, free. And then one day, someone asks you what you want and you honestly don't know. Not because there is nothing, but because you have trained yourself to ignore it. So if you recognize yourself in these 5 signs, I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to blame yourself. This is not about being a bad mom or a bad woman. It is about noticing where you left yourself out. Because you can love your kids deeply and still come back to yourself. You can care for your family and still ask what kind of life you want. You can be reasonable and still be alive. So here is a small practice I want you to have, whatever I wanted to say. Take 5 minutes today and write this sentence at the top of the page. I stopped asking myself. And then finish the sentence 10 times. Don't make it pretty or wise, just be honest. Maybe you write something like, I stopped asking myself what I need. I stopped asking myself what I want. Or I stopped asking myself whether this job still fits. I stopped asking myself what would make me happy. I stopped asking myself who I am becoming. And that is the way back, where the way back begins. It's not about a dramatic overhaul. It's not about pressure or another plan that makes you feel left behind, but one honest question. Because the woman you were is not gone, or the woman you are becoming is not lost. She may just be buried under life that has been asking too much from you and not enough about you. Today, remember just this. A happy family does not require a disappeared mom. You are allowed to be here too. And if this hits you, comment with reclaim. Thanks for being here. See you in the next video. Bye bye.